What an ending to a very, very exciting but stressful game. Yes, you know, I'm starting like this.
I wish I had
Great
some
win.
glasses, Alex.
Huh?
I wish I had some glasses like you do.
Well, that's because you're not as cool as I am.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Um, with that being said, welcome back to the Twinbill podcast brought to you by NyynewsTV. Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Obviously, we have a shit ton of things to talk about. Next week, probably, if nothing gets in the way, some personal things got in the way this time. We will be live. Like that's something I want to accomplish. School is over with, and getting to live chat with you guys and stuff like that is going to be real fun. And next week we hope to do it. We hope this is the last pre-recording, or I should say, recording for a long time. With that being said, a lot of shit happened in this past Blue Jays game that is so fun to talk about. We have the Judge thing. We have, some stuff to talk about
Alex,
the
it's not a thing.
offense.
It's a walk-off home run, for Christ's sake. It's his first ever. You should
Yeah.
credit it as such.
Well, you know what, Luca? I came on here last week talking about Aaron Judge and how he's, earned the extension because of his hot streaking. I brought that up. I'm right for a second straight week. So, what was I going to say before Luca brutally interrupted me? We got that. We got the famous brawl, and we know that a lot
Well,
of
it
people
wasn't
are
really a
divided.
brawl, but
It
yeah.
was okay. Maybe I'm overreacting, but it wasn't a brawl. We got the famous hit by pitch, and then the umpire started throwing everybody out, and we'll talk about that because a lot of people disagree with whether he was supposed to be ejected or not. Then we got the offense because other than Stanton and Judge, nothing much was coming. Though we are happy, Nestor Cortez is pitching possibly like an all-star. We'll talk about that as well. And I think that will pretty much wrap it up. Luca, you were on game season. Probably the best game season of the season. Not trying to have any puns in there, but take it away. First thoughts, man.
Oh my Lord, what a game! That was a what do they call it? Like just different emotions circled. First, for the first couple of innings to about inning 5 or 6, it was just boring, completely boring. The Yankees were getting no hit by Yusei Kikuchi. Severino struggled the first 2 innings, but he eventually rebounded pretty well, in my opinion, at least. And the Yankees were getting no hit by a fastball pitcher, a fly ball pitcher, and Yusei Kikuchi, and it was annoying to all of us. We were like, do something here. So I think LeMahieu got on base. Then another good runner I think Judge got on base. Rizzo might have gotten out or something. I don't remember the exact at bat. Well, not the at bat, but the exact order of how things went. And then John Carlos Stanton on what some would call a little league home run, hit a home
Fuck you,
run
Chris
to
Woodward. By the way, fuck you.
hit a home run to right field to tie the game at 3. Then, batter later on an 0-1 pitch, Yimi Garcia hits Josh Donaldson on the arm. Then the cameras proceed to show the Yankee dugout up in awe, up in arms, saying all this different stuff. Getting angry. They had a right to be angry. I'll explain why in a minute. Umpires talked it over. Alfonso Marquez, I think the crew chief and the crew threw out Yimi Garcia. Blue Jays dugout was in outrage. Pete Walker, the pitching coach, ended up being thrown out of the game. Then we head to the 8th inning, I believe it was. It was Bichette versus Jonathan Loizaga. He goes up and in on Loizaga. Well, I'm sorry, let me reverse that. Loizaga goes up and in on Bichette. I think it was a sinker. And Blue Jays dugout up and on again. Montoyo, complaining. Brian, I don't remember Schneider. I think he was the bench coach. John Schneider, I think his name is. Alec Manoah was up and on Mr. McDonald's. And the home plate umpire threw Charlie Montoya out of the game. So that happened. Chad Green then proceeds to come in after, I think, Bichette, because I think there was one runner on already with Chad Green coming in. And he proceeds to give up a triple to, I think it was Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Then the next batter hits a sacrifice fly to center. Judge's throw was offline, so it made it a 5-3 ball game. And we were just down in the snout. How could they do this to us? Why throw Chad Green late in that game when it's a tie game? Why do we trust him? All this and that. 8th inning was pretty much spoiled. 9th inning was a 1-2-3 inning. I don't think it was a 1-2-3 inning, but we got out of there quick. Then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa strikes out like the bum he's been playing like in the last few games. Let's be real. Jose Trevino walks. LeMahieu walks. And then Aaron Judge with a hanging slider absolutely crushes the ball to left field. That is no Little League home run, folks. That is a bomb. And the Yankees go on to win 6-5, and we all go berserk on News TV's game season. Probably the best game season, as Alex mentioned, ever. And my voice is a little short because of that, because I was jumping around and screaming, but just what a way to end it, especially after what the Blue Jays try to do.
Yeah, very exciting. And for those of you who remember from last week's Twinbill, I came out and I said, listen, Aaron Judge is on a hot streak. The Yankees are on a hot streak. At least I think they still were at the time. And, for all those people out there that were looking to get rid of Judge, they said, oh, he asked for too much. And, somebody brought up in a tweet, oh, well, 230 is not enough. 230 was never enough. It ain't enough right now. And it's good that people are looking back on their past tweets and their past quotes and nonsense, really debating whether Aaron Judge should be re-signed. And, that clown on social media, Jared Carabas, he put out a tweet in like 2021, like August, and obviously people keep receipts, and sometimes they just look up stuff as well. But Jared Carabas put Aaron Judge has never had a clutch hit in his career, and someone quote tweeted it with the walk-off home run. Very excited for Aaron Judge. Hopefully the Yankees actually pull through this. There's still the arbitration thing coming up. There's still the extension pending. So I think they should get this right. This is probably one, and maybe I'm stretching it, Luca. Maybe you could back me up a little bit. Is this one of his better seasons, at least starts-wise?
Definitely is. He wasn't doing much to start. He had a solid average, but he wasn't hitting with too much power to start. But he's really heated up over these past couple of weeks, and the home runs just show that. What does he have, 10 on the year?
10
Alex,
runs in the year.
His 10th home run being a walk-off home run. He's doing the right things.
And he's still hitting for average. And listen, maybe he wasn't necessarily the best in that Texas series. That Texas series was really bad offensively. I mean, that final game, I'm going to just be real with you guys because we tell the positive, we tell the negative on here. Me and Pete were doing the game season. We were just, Pete was falling asleep and stuff. But then the Italian came in, Anthony Rizzo, and the Yankees ended up winning 1-0. Obviously, we would win the next game, which was, this past night. But Judge is getting it done, and there is no reason that he shouldn't be extended. Now, there's going to be down streaks. There's going to be up streaks. This team has the potential to go places. I'm not going to say they're a World Series team. I'm not going to say, they're this, and this, whatever, because time has to tell, right? Time will tell. We haven't even faced the Rays yet, so we don't know what we're doing against them. I know there's the 12 o'clock game against the Jays. I would like to take that. And have some good momentum going into the Chicago series, and Chicago really hasn't started off well. But Aaron Judge, man, I mean, you gotta commend this guy. I mean, he was fighting from the dugout. If you seen in that brawl, well, I keep calling it a brawl. It's not a brawl, everybody.
A wannabe brawl.
I wanted it to be a brawl, but the almost brawl, when everybody was chatting from the dugout, you see Judge, he was ready to go over and possibly get out of there, and Charlie Montoya, the wuss that he is, he was covering his mouth like Joe Pesci and Frank Vincent from the Casino when they were being
they didn't want to give in to the lip readers.
Yeah, they didn't want to give into the lip readers FBI. And I said, he probably did that because he didn't want to get triple power bombed by Josh Donaldson, Giancarlo Stanton, and Aaron Judge. So
I'm
there's
surprised
that.
John Donaldson did not charge the mound. He is
I'm
that guy.
surprised. I'm surprised. And, I would have wanted him. Obviously, I don't know what he did his second AB. I don't think he did anything. The AB, obviously, after the hit by pitch. But I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised he kept his cool like that because he is a hot, and heavy player in terms of just, the anger, where it can get with him. Talk about the brawl. Well, I keep saying brawl. It is, you guys know what I mean when I say brawl. Talk about the hit by pitch. Was it right? Was it not right? You obviously, we were both watching the game at the time and we were both reacting, but you were the one on camera for game season.
I said he should have been thrown out. I said throw him out. And, I said he should be suspended as well, which I think so. He was hit with an 0-1. Donaldson was hit with an 0-1 pitch, but it wasn't some slider or a curveball. That was a running fastball that hit him on the elbow. You could tell, most of the time, when a pitcher hits a hitter after giving up a game-tying home run, it shows they have no confidence in getting the guy out and that they didn't want to be a part of the ball game. And you know what? That's kind of a quitter moment or a quitter attitude by Garcia. Completely bitch mode. Yeah, Garcia went there. There's your new term, everybody. Garcia went bitch mode and hit Donaldson. But everybody's going here saying soft. Oh, there should have been a warning. You don't have to warn somebody to throw somebody out of the game when it comes to a pitcher, especially after hitting a batter.
Yeah, let's be geeks about it. Let's be
soft.
Be real geeks.
Let's be soft.
I'm just saying, people for instance, if NYY News TV was to call something out, let's just say, for example, we go back to that Royal series, right? In the first game, or was the second game? I think it was the first game on Apple TV, right? Let's just say we said, look, Gleyber Torres obviously pushed Bobby Witt off the bag. He's supposed to be safe. People would come after us for that. I feel like that would happen. But now that a lot of people, including us, are saying, well, he should have been thrown out. And at the same time, it is in the rule book that you can throw a pitcher out if you think that there is intent. Now, personally, I don't think that there should have been a chat. I think it should have been either he stays in the game or he gets thrown out of the game.
That's right after a home run. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah, and Yimi Garcia was being a total bitch about it. Own the fuck up, man the fuck up. And it's just funny that whole Blue Jays dugout was totally irate. And Pete Walker was coming out. He got tossed. And, obviously Yimi got tossed. I thought Charlie.
I'd love to see the press conference of what they said.
I want to see as well. Obviously Charlie didn't get tossed there. I thought he did, but he got tossed with the Bichette thing, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a Twitter fanboy or a goober, as I like to make quote of. But I tweeted towards Toronto. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, pussies. This, that, and the other thing. Because don't hit our players. Don't hit our players. Josh Donaldson, if he wasn't in that mood, triple power bomb. And guess what? If something happens if Houston throws at one of our players on NYY News TV Day, it's not going to be a good sight. But from speaking from a Yankees fan, calls biased or not, I don't give a fuck. He should have been ejected.
Yeah, it was definitely a wild event. Definitely wild just to watch. So
now, your thoughts on the Bichette thing?
I honestly don't care to my opinion, I don't care if Loizaga was or wasn't thrown out. I think Loizaga took a ballsy move and threw the pitch up at Bichette's chin. Obviously, the Blue Jays were bitching and moaning, saying, "Oh, it was intentional. Why didn't you throw him out? This and that." Montoya was obviously ejected, the Blue Jays manager, but it was a pretty ballsy move. I think we ended up giving up a hit to Bichette, I think it was a hit. So the bloop single to right. And there's nothing really much to say about that when it comes to it. Loizaga went up and he took a chance. Now, if he was hit, he was probably gone. But a pretty ballsy move, This team, honestly, Alex, this team has a lot of grit.
I don't think it was intentional. I think he just missed with a pitch up there. I could be totally wrong, and maybe Loizaga admits it. Probably not, but with that being said, I felt like that was sort of Manny Ramirez-ish 2003 ALCS, excuse me, and then Nolan Arenado against Lopez, I think his name was, from the Mets.
Yeah.
Like that was up and in, but it was nowhere near. I feel like they just got mad for nothing because their manager, was mad and their pitching coach got thrown out and their pitcher got thrown out. But, there was, what was I going to say? It is so, I just feel a lot better about this game and a lot more, I would say, propelled to say fuck Toronto because we won. Like we're standing on a foundation right now. I think we probably lead.
We're 5 games ahead of Toronto in the standings.
We're 5 games ahead. We're winning the season series right now. It's early though. And listen, we won. We won, and Toronto tried doing what they did, and fuck you, Toronto. Fuck you, Toronto Blue Jays. And you know what? If you disagree with us, disagree with us. Don't care. We're gonna stand on the foundation. The Yankees won. Cry about it. Cry. Please cry. Luca, if you want to get to the next topic, whether it be a positive like Nestor Cortez possibly pitching like an ace, or I should say an all-star pitcher, or if you want to downturn a little bit on the negative side of the Yankees offense.
Again, we haven't really been talking negative about this team, but I just have to bring this up. The offense in the last couple of games, especially in this game early on, and especially in the Texas series, which Alex, you were on game season 4. It's been a struggle to create runs, should I say. I think it was Monday, we ended up beating the Rangers 1-0, which we should have scored more runs against them because the Rangers are a piss poor team. Alex would know watching the game, they're a bad defensive team and they don't exactly have the greatest pitching.
The one run in terms of, Anthony Rizzo, that only run they had that day, that's a routine fly ball. Like
that is a routine fly ball.
Yeah. It's in the gap, either Solak calls it or the center fielder calls. I think it was Garcia or was maybe someone else. That's a routine fly ball. Just call it. Like that's called fundamentally.
That's not in the gap. That's not like deep in the cap. That's going over everybody's head. That's a catchable ball out there. The Rangers are not good.
Once again,
they're a little league team.
Keep going.
They're a little league team.
They are a little league team.
I mean, and then Woodward operates like a little league manager. Little league. Then he had to walk back his comments about Little League Stadium. Okay, bud. Your team is fucking garbage, but enough about that. Yankees in the second game of the doubleheader lose 4-2 when Michael King gave up a 2-run jack to
Brad Miller.
So that pretty much ruined it, but the Yankees couldn't score much off the Rangers. I don't remember who started that day. I think Montgomery did, but he pitched very well, and we just continued to give him very low run support. And Garrett Cole, I believe, pitched the first game, and he ended up giving up a home run to Cole Calhoun in the 7th inning. I got to give credit to Aaron Boone. He did ride with the starter, his ace, and pulled him at the right time. I'm not going to complain and say, Cole should have been pulled before this, before that. You know what, Cole, you wrote with your ace. He gave up a home run. It's going to happen one way or another.
In that case, if it was like 2 runners on and he was still pitching, he gives up that ball and the Yankees lose the lead, I would be super pissed. And it obviously at the time he was over 100 pitches. But in that situation, I can't blame Boone because we have been ridiculing this team a little bit because they're going to their bullpen way too early, and we don't know if they're going to be shrunk by July, August, when it's needed at most. But I don't blame Boone there. Obviously, Cole was at the end of his rope in the game, and then obviously Glaber did it in the 9th inning.
Yeah, definitely. So you can't really blame Boone for that. So. He chose to roll with his starter. I mean, Alex, how many times we say, this was Cole. It was Cole's game, Alex. It was 1-0. It was a shutout. He's been pitching very well, and he pitched very well against the Rangers. I think he struck out 10 batters, and we all questioned, will he go out for the 7th? He did go out for the 7th. He gives up a home run to Calhoun, which goes around the pole. Boone takes him out, and the Yankees, walk-off home run by Gleyber Torres eventually in the 9th inning, but it's just been a struggle to muster a ton of runs. This is one of their, the Yankees are going to be a hot and cold team offensively, especially with the production of the bottom of the order. It really depends. So that's a little bit of worry of mine. I hope it gets better. Like tonight, I hope this really fires them up when it comes to offense because Stanton and Judge basically carried, if you want to be realistic. Let's hope everybody starts contributing when it comes to the White Sox series, or maybe even the Blue Jays game Wednesday.
They gotta fucking destroy the White Sox. Like
It's all offense.
I'm not expecting a super big win streak. Like, oh, they're gonna go on another 11 game. No, I'm not expecting that, but I'm expecting that they take at least 2 out of 3, possibly sweep if it's a 3-game set, 4-game set, something like that.
It's a 4. I believe it is a 4-game set actually, because the Yankees
they start on Thursday, right? Or do they not?
Let me see.
If they start on Thursday, it's probably a 4-game set. If they don't, then it's a 3-game set. But
yeah, they start Thursday.
Okay, so it's probably a 4-game set. Nonetheless, I expect a sweep because the Yankees.
You expect a sweep?
The White Sox are horrible. The Twins are in first. I think the Guardians are in second. By the way, Josh Naylor has become the new Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Friggin' throwing his helmet like a fucking chimpanzee or something, But hopefully, when we go to Cleveland or when they come to us again, hopefully they shove it in Naylor's face. I mean, obviously we kind of did that last time with the sweep. But he's becoming a clown player, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just that one thing. But he hit a home run in Chicago that was actually opposite field. And I question, how did it get out? But obviously that's, we only talk about Yankee Stadium here. We don't talk about this. We don't talk about how Fenway Park has a very short right field and how, it's very easy to get it out there. How it's very easy. Like, for example, Yankee Stadium, it's not too easy to get a ground rule double.
No.
If you line the ball to right field and it takes one hop, it's a ground rule double in Boston. So, for the Jared Carabises and the Fuzzies and all these other fucking idiots out there, oh, it's only a home run Yankees. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. But as far as this offense goes, and you know what, I will nitpick a little because obviously I'm a fan. I can do that.
Obviously, if you want to discuss individual players, Aaron Hicks has gone back to earth. So is IKF.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that in just a second. But obviously you said it. In some of these games where the Yankees should be destroying the pitching, and you could kind of see, okay, the Blue Jays, they're a tougher team. Maybe not Yusei Kikuchi as a pitcher because you mentioned he is a fly ball pitcher. But against the Rangers, Dane Dunning's okay. Glenn Otto has started out, well. But, there's a reason they're under 500 and almost last place, and if not last place in the West. It's making the other team make mistakes. It's forcing them to make mistakes. And, whether the pitching's good, the pitching is bad, obviously that's why FIP exists because, Dane Dunning could be giving up 3 runs in 1 inning, but his fielding independent pitching, his FIP-U could be probably low or high. I don't even know how they calculate the stat because that team is so unfundamentally sound. But I think that, against teams like that, against teams that are unfundamentally sound, you just need to have them make their own mistakes and get in their own way. Once again, obviously, and they've done a good job with the Yankees. I'll give this because, they obviously couldn't do anything against Kikuchi. But lately against the Blue Jays, other than the start that Nestor had, last 3-ish, 4-ish games, they've been destroying that Blue Jays bullpen. I mean, we were talking about, it was a week ago, and I feel like we were coming off of the big comeback game when we were recording. Maybe not. I think we were. Nonetheless, we made them use 3 different pitchers in 1 inning. Mm-hmm. Aaron Judge was part of that.
Wasn't that the blowout, kind of
9-1?
Yeah, where we basically canned them.
Yeah, we canned them. Or as one of our coaches would say, or old coaches, back in the day, we housed them. It was Simber, then it was Merriweather, then it was Trent Thornton. So one thing I'll give the Yankees is, they've been knocking on the bullpen's door. They got Kikuchi out fine and all that stuff.
Alex, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just saw this on Twitter. On April 22nd, the Blue Jays had a little short clip of Jordan Romano. Best clap emoji, closer clap emoji in clap emoji baseball. April 22nd, that was tweeted.
Update.
Yeah, you graze that mustache, Jordan Romano. You suck.
He was on my fantasy team, so I feel bad for myself. But fantasy baseball,
who cares? Yeah,
very hard to keep track of.
Not this team.
But I'm not a fantasy guru. I don't root fantasy.
I know. I'm just saying it's about this team right here.
Yeah, of course. Why am I wearing this? But I feel like with teams against the White Sox, they have a ton of injuries.
Got to take advantage.
Did you see that play? Let me ask you a question. There's two things I want to ask you. We're talking about the White Sox, and this is not normally what we do.
Are you talking about the right field play?
But I think you're Gavin Sheets. That's because obviously the injuries on that team, they have not been able to come back. But with that being said, did you see what was I going to say? What the broadcaster said?
No, I didn't.
The second broadcaster, if you listen closely, he said, "You have to be shitting me." Like he said that on air. I'm like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm absolutely dead. But with that being said, I know I've been bouncing around the whole prospect of things. They need to destroy the White Sox, their starting pitching. It's not perfect. There's a reason, once again, they're in the bottom of that division, or at least mid. Just in games, if you face a really bad starting rotation, or just in general, if you face a good starting rotation, you don't fuck them up, and then you have a good bullpen. I mean, some of those games are going to hurt you in the long run. So, Luca, if you want to, present your thoughts on that before we go to individual players, then Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, you pretty much handle it. We also got the Orioles after the White Sox and then the White Sox again. So we have a lot to take advantage of during this next stretch. We're not going to be facing a lot of like top tier teams, but we need to take care of these mid to bottom tier teams.
So two players as well that have been struggling offensively that we'll talk about because obviously, once again, positive and negative. Aaron Hicks has slowed down. I know
he's returned to form. He's returned to mid-season form, I feel.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
I looked up his average. I looked up his average and his stats. Fun facts. Aaron Hicks, over the past 7 games, has 1 RBI. He's got 8 walks, so he's got walks.
No, he does the bat flip with the walks. All he is single or nothing.
Yes. So he's got only 2 hits in the last 7 games, which is 17 at bats. Guess his average.
170.
No.
075.
No.
200.
I'll give you one more guess. Don't look it up.
I'm not looking it up, I swear. 100.
Try 118. We were high on him to start a little bit. We were getting higher and higher. Unfortunately, he's returned back. In the last 15 games, he's hitting 186. The walks are in ratio with the strikeouts, but nothing is there offensively. And for some reason, MLB.com.
Alex, I'm sorry, can we also bring up how badly he jogged with that triple from Lourdes Gurriel?
Tubby McFatfuck scored from first.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. scored from first base. That's how bad he was jogging. He is not the same player, like outfielder he once was.
And let's see. I'm trying to think here how the outfield alignment was. So they didn't have Donaldson in the infield tonight, correct?
I don't think so. It was Stanton right.
Why did they put Hicks out there? Was it a pinch hitting situation?
No, Hicks was in the lineup to start.
Because I was thinking, because Gallo made that one pinch.
Gallo was pinch hitting, pinch hitting for Higashioka,
exactly. But that was horrible. Like he's not a corner. We have a ton of corner. The thing is with the Yankees, I'm not going to go on this whole tangent because there's no reason to. But you had a lot of corner outfielders in the system, and you couldn't put Hicks in center with maybe Judge and right or Stanton, whatever you could do. I mean, I'll give Joey Gallo this, and I don't like Joey Gallo as a player. I've said that about a zillion times. At least he'll probably hustle in the outfield. Like Hicks looked like he was 90 years old, like he was playing for the Senior Citizen League. Like that was bad. I mean, and then obviously on offense, we talked about the walk strikeout ratio. He still can't produce though. Like it's not coming up with runners in scoring positions like against Texas. He didn't come up. He didn't do anything. I think he struck out or popped out. I think there was the same case in that last game against Toronto, you know? So he's slowed down. And then obviously we get this tweet from a geek on Twitter. I'm not afraid to call him a geek. This is what it is. Joe can be smart, but Joe can also be a geek. He said that the scapegoat for the last couple of games for the Yankees struggling offensively is Aaron Hicks. So I reply with this. I will actually go to my tweet because this is what we do here. I put, let's see. So he can't hit with runners in scoring position. Plus, he's a lazy outfielder, but he's going to get a pass. A pass, not a pass. First, it was everybody hates on Joey Gallo because that's what he said before. Now everybody hates on Aaron Hicks. So
it's not hating if it's true.
Exactly. Like if you're hating on a player and he's doing like good, that's like, no, that's actually kind of hating. And I hate that word hate. It's kind of weird to say it in a sentence, twice, but people use it so wrong. It's not even funny. Like hating it's not even, it's worse than not liking somebody. That's like, for example, like, I'm not even going to go into it because I'll probably get canceled, and I don't want to do that just yet. I'm in a young career with NyynewsTV. But like, for example, actually, I'll put it in a limited sense. Certain races, certain ethnicities hate certain ethnicities.
That's just life.
Because of a grudge. Hating Aaron Hicks is not hating Aaron Hicks. It's just not liking the player he is or critiquing him. Right. So to say that he's the scapegoat. Look at his stats. Look at his stats the last couple games. 118.
Just look at the at-bats. Actually watch the games.
Thank you. We talk about certain things and, the outcomes of certain at-bats.
And the stats.
And it's weird. It's weird, too, because people will talk about, oh, he had a good at-bat. But this guy flew out. Oh, well, he's the scapegoat. Have you seen the at-bats lately? So,
you could say Hicks is a part of the problem.
We're not saying he's, the entire problem. He's part of the problem. But once again, positive, negative, that's what we discuss on here, no matter what the Yankees are doing. And we've been fairly positive the last few weeks. But they need to sit him down. The problem is you're going to have Gallo in the lineup who's all or nothing. And, he's a good outfielder. But it really hasn't impacted.
Maybe you have Florial come up and split time with Gallo and Hicks, but I don't see that happening.
No, I mean, we'll be seeing Florial quite soon, actually.
Yes.
In Scranton on Thursday. So that's going to be really exciting. We'll see Andujar. We'll see Peraza. We'll see Greg Bird. So that's going to be, I know Pete asked me, and I'm going to ask you the same question because I don't know if you were, in the chat at the time. Would it be a failure of a trip if we only came away with one autograph and that autograph being Greg Bird?
Yeah, I think it would.
So even if they won the game or got blown or just
okay, if they won the game, fine, but you could live with it. But Greg Bird, who's I don't know, I don't want to say a reprisal, but he's a retread. He's a retread. That's what he is. He's a retread.
He's also very good in spring training.
Yes, the spring training is his best playing time.
That's like the playoffs for him. But also, I mean, I'm not going to touch too much on IKF, but he's come down to earth like some pitches and once again, this comes down to at bats as well, just rather than the basic stats. But I mean, he hasn't been hitting well. The at bats are not great. Like in the bottom of the ninth inning, he swung at pitches way out of the zone. Your thoughts?
Yeah, his at bats have been horrible. I mean, Hicks and IKF does not have great play discipline, and his swing looks very, unfundamental, should I say? Like it's just a weird swing. But IKF wasn't the same guy that was hitting that hard line drive double off the Indians to tie the game.
It caused the whole Miles Straw incident.
Yeah, so he's returned to his soft contact ways, and he's not getting good at bats.
Yeah, by the way, I just want to ask this. I asked this on stream, and I'll ask it again. Where's Fuzzy to blame this whole thing on the Yankee fans?
Yeah, you can't say the fans incited this.
Someone said it, and I'm like, is this sarcasm? But unfortunately, I never got a reply, so I will never know. Maybe they're trolling. I don't know. But Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in the last 7 games, and the thing with him once again is that when he's hot, he's hot, but when he's not getting A, those quality at bats. B, where's the offensive production? Like, he's not a home run hitter, so he doesn't provide the power. But he's also at times not the contact hitter. Well, he is the prototype of the contact hitter. But when he's struggling, he loses that, so there's no offensive production. He doesn't take walks. But 167, 3 walks in the last 7, 8 strikeouts, 1 RBI, 4 hits in the last 24 at bats. So once again, not necessarily quality from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, but I'll leave it at that. Honestly, your thoughts?
Yeah, I say pretty much the same with Kiner-Falefa. Like, we saw him on the hot streak. We gave him his credit. Can't give him credit here when he's struggling.
Absolutely. So now we'll move on to one final topic. If we have anything else, obviously we'll talk about at the end. Nestor Cortes, man. I mean, you could talk about, he pitched against this team and this team and this team, but man, while the offense was giving him absolutely no support, he had a no-hit bid through 7 on Monday. And obviously we're doing game season that day, and he was just impressive. And I feel like the proper comparison, he's in his prime right now, the proper comparison for Nestor Cortes is Rich Hill. Like, Rich Hill at this stage of his career, and maybe he's been in all of his career, but he's a fifth ball pitcher. And I feel like Nestor Cortes is innovative.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Alex. He reminds me a lot of Jimmy Key from the Yankee championship days. Although he was more contact, Cortes strikes out, I would say, a lot more batters per 9 innings.
Yeah. And when Tony Randazzo is not yelling at him because he's trying to get in the player's head, he plays mind games. He's a fifth ball pitcher. Does he have a 100-mile-an-hour fastball like a lot of these pitchers do? No. I mean, he's a 5-starter, but hell, you take a look at the recent starts. He's better than Severino. I mean, also, once again, you did have that blow up in Toronto, but Nestor's been a little bit better than he has over the last few starts.
I'd say Nestor's been our best starter overall. I don't think that's without a doubt.
He probably been the most consistent, if you think about it. Like, he did have that 2-run home run to Josh Naylor against the Cleveland Guardians. But obviously he just did well. The offense didn't support him until late. You had that one blow up in Toronto where his command wasn't really there. But are you going that far for Nestor Cortes to say he is an all-star pitcher?
I think you could talk about it, but I'm not really obviously let May and June pass by. Everybody's going to vote on their ballots and stuff. But I think right now, I would consider it.
Nestor Cortes this season's 1-1 with a 1.41 ERA. 6 games started, 32 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts. And then 11 walks in the last 7 games. That obviously goes back to his whole season. But this guy's been great. And obviously I know certain people come out and say, oh, you were wrong. And to really make your life off of dedicating tweets and comments to somebody being wrong is pretty waste of life right there. Waste of time. But I will admit, I was wrong on Nestor Cortes.
I'm vastly impressed with him.
He's been probably one of the more consistent starters in this rotation. Has he given you length? At times he has. At times he hasn't. The Guardian start, I could argue he gave you length. He went to 7th inning. Obviously that Toronto one's an outlier. You look at the Rangers game, he went into the 8th. And after that hit, he was still in the game. And then they took him out. Then they put in another pitcher. So, you know what? I'm going to tip my cap to Nestor Cortes. He's been a bright spot so far this season. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. Next week, we hope to be live. So get ready for the comments. Comment section. Get
live
ready.
Engagement.
Live engagement. We're going to be answering your questions. We're going to be talking about the Yankees, what the state is at the time. Hopefully, we get a bunch of wins because obviously we got the Toronto game. White Sox, I think, at the round of that time, we play the Orioles. So I don't know. I think next Wednesday there's a 7:00 game, so it could be an early in the day type of stream, which honestly wouldn't be a bad thing. Hopefully, you guys can come out and support. Luca, final thoughts?
Yeah, keep the great baseball coming. Offense needs to show up a little more. I'm overly joyed and ecstatic about this Judge walk-off home run and overall the win tonight. So let's keep this coming, guys.
Sign Aaron Judge to an extension. I almost said extension. Extension. Sign Aaron Judge to an extension. That needs to be done. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or your drops here on NYY News TV. Also sub to my channel, Big Blue in the Bronx. I don't really self-promo that often, but I will just for this. 5-star Apple Podcast rating for all podcasts. This one especially. Be sure to buy some merch. June 25th is a month away. A month and a few days away, people. So
get those tickets.
Get those tickets. And we're going to be there, and we're going to be loud, whether the Yankees are winning, they're losing, or whatever the case may be. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool. Go Yanks. And let's keep this going, everyone. Peace.
Have a good night.